What we got?
I got some chips.
5 Guys on a caloric deficit.
I went for the Cajun fries, which I used to pronounce cahoon.
That's very much not in a calorie deficit, is it?
Yeah.
Cahoon. How is it pronounced? Cajun?
Cajun, apparently. Cajon. Cajon. Okay, well, what's number 2 on the receipt?
Oh, is that what the number means?
Yes, mate.
Sandwich 2. Oh, lettuce wrap. Calorie deficit.
That's yours.
Yes. Do you know my favourite YouTuber right now?
Apart from Ali Abdel.
Apart from Ali Abdel, of course.
Who's your favourite YouTuber?
Jordan Syatt. Have you heard of him?
Yes, I have.
Gary V's.
Yes.
He was Gary V's personal trainer.
He's in my DMs.
Is he?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, like, I really want to look because Stoic weight loss journey. He's my inspiration.
Yeah.
He's the one that helped me realise that the reason I got to 23 stone was probably binge eating.
Yeah. What, like this?
No, because I'm eating a lettuce wrapped burger.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, because do you know what he did? He ate a Big Mac every day for 30 days.
Yeah.
Whilst losing, I think, like 8 pounds or something.
Anyway, Stoicism weight loss journey.
Yeah, so...
What was the deal? He says, eating a 5 Guys.
So, I mean, well, it's a 5 Guys...
Because you were really fat.
Yes, I was.
How does that feel to be so fat?
It was crazy. But the thing is, I didn't...
Because you didn't act as if you cared. At least not outwardly.
Yeah, do you know what it is? I know I've got loads of ketchup on my face. I got sensitized to it because I grew up fat, right? So like every year up to like the age of 15 and then afterwards, which I'll explain, essentially I weighed like, when I was like 10, I weighed 10 stone. And when I was 11, I weighed 11 stone, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, nice. 17, 18...
We get the idea.
Yeah, and then in my gap year, before starting uni, I was like, nah. And so I lost 4 stone. So then I started uni at about 14 stone. And then I was rowing and stuff at Girton, and I ended up, Girton's my college, and I ended up like just getting like really lean. And well, not really lean, but like as fit as I've ever been. And then, I don't know, uni happened, and like Cambridge is stressful. And bereavement of friends and things like that. And so I ended up, I don't know, stopping exercise, wasn't really watching my nutrition. And the weight loss before had never really had like any underpinning other than like, I really don't want to be fat anymore. Because growing up, it was always, listen, literally every day of my life, someone called me fat or they made like a racist comment about me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, obviously I grew up in Cambridge.
Okay.
Now, like, not everyone was racist, but
okay.
It's just, it was around the times of 9/11 happening.
Oh, when racism was still acceptable.
Because I started year 7 in 2002, which means that, like, 9/11 had just happened, and there were these kind of jokes of, like, oh, you're a terrorist. And you, like, both the fat thing and the racism thing, like, it just kind of desensitized me and made me numb to, like, being that way. And I think it kind of made me dislike myself, but not consciously. So anyway, the bereavement and stuff happened, and the uni stress happened, and I ended up putting on weight. I had, you know, I graduated and then moved to London and had like a great job, which I love, but like lots of work. And I ended up, my weight just ended up ballooning and ended up at like 23 stone, like you said, which is like morbidly obese.
Yep.
And then all the weight loss that had happened before was all a fad. Like, oh, I really just want to, you know, look better aesthetically. And then I came across voluntary discomfort. You know, Donald Robertson's The Stoicism and the Art of Happiness. I've got a few people on Instagram now messaging me saying, what's your recommendation for the book? Like, don't go straight for the primary text. I know a lot of people will kind of try and slaughter me for this. But I would say Donald Robertson's Stoicism and the Art of Happiness is the best, like, source for just basic theory grounded in quotes and stuff before you then go on to the primary material. I know you like Irvine as well. That's a really good book.
I like Irvine. I really like Happy by Darren Brown. And of course, this course. This class.
This course is great for the intro, of course.
Yeah, man.
But reading that, the ideas of voluntary discomfort, and also kind of checking what was my motivation for losing weight. Was it just aesthetic? That was the issue. So like checking me on what my values were. And helping me to understand some of the pain.
So, what was your motivation for losing weight?
Initially, before, like, when I lost weight before uni and stuff, it was kind of aesthetic. It was just like, I don't want people to call me fat anymore.
Were people calling you fat at uni? Surely not.
It's funny because there were a few comments, but I can literally remember every single one. You know how they say you focus more on the negatives than the positive, but because I was kind of scarred from it when I was younger, I remember every little comment. And you know what was the most damaging one? There was one where I'd actually lost weight already, and people used to say to me like, "Why have you got a weighing scale? You're fit, you're muscular." The guy at the gym even said to me like, "Oh, you don't need an induction. You clearly like are very fit, this, that." And that was so weird to me because I just didn't view myself as that. I viewed myself as like...
As in this was when you were fat?
No. You know when I lost weight in my gap year, there was the initial weight loss where I was like fairly fit, like whilst rowing and stuff.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it because I just had so many years of being called fat. I couldn't shake this idea that I was still fat. But then people saying that really, really helped. But clearly external approval was like too high on my list because then I remember one time we did this, you know, the man versus food YouTube guy?
No.
Oh, well, two of my friends at Girton did some like man versus food challenge where they had some like big loaf of bread that they like carved out and then filled it with like bacon and like whatever. And then there was this like version that didn't have pork and stuff that I could eat. And they like filled it with all this stuff and like I was going to have like a whole half. And I remember saying, "Oh, I'm going to eat this whole half." And this one guy said like, "Oh yeah, you look like you could eat a whole half," and did that. And so my brain immediately was just like, okay, you were right. You are still fat, like all this stuff there. And it kind of set me down a bad path. And this is why Stoics say like, if you worry about what other people are saying and about things outside of your control, then you're basically at their whim. So
what are your thoughts on external validation in general?
Well, this is the thing. I feel like I was someone who really valued those things. So like that's kind of why, I don't know, instead of speaking out when people were being mean to me, I would just kind of laugh along because they were friends and I wanted to not really rock the boat as a kid. But Stoicism, of course, showed me, it checked my values. This is why I say that it's like sticky. And it gives you the underpinning that some of this motivation stuff won't. I feel like it's just a way to unhappiness, to like care about it. You almost felt Ali's like unbalanced chair for stabilising your core. What do you think, Matt?
Okay, so then so along the journey, what Stoic principles helped you along?
Main one, voluntary discomfort. I started viewing, rather than being motivated by, I want to look a certain way.
Yeah.
I was basically motivated by, I want difficult things. And so like, it would be easy to sit here and just like emotionally order like Deliveroo, desserts and whatever. It was how it was, bro. It was so bad at one point.
I'm laughing because this is exactly what we've done.
No, it's a lettuce wrapped burger. And like, yeah. So basically, what was the question?
What Stoic principles helped you along the
way? Voluntary discomfort helped because it changed it from I want to look a certain way to I actually want difficult stuff.
Okay.
I don't want to take the easy way.
Dichotomy of control.
Dichotomy of control was the main.
Control what you think and what you do.
Yeah. Also, and also, it meant to me that rather than worrying about what other people thought of me, so it wasn't I want to lose weight because I want people to not view me as fat anymore. Yeah. It was now about what's in my control. Like my mum's diabetic. She's got a heart condition. Like, I want to like be there with her. I want to improve my health and live longer, rather than be, morbidly obese. So it changed my fundamental values to just be what's within my control. And then the other thing, which which is in the course as well, is the idea of like wealth and status, because. And I think, it's not really fashionable to say, but I think like if I'm completely honest. I used to be driven by that. And I think part of that came from having a bit of a chip on my shoulder because, I grew up in a poor family. I was one of very few people at Cambridge with us to have been on free school meals. I think the stat was like 1 in 2,000 or something. And like seeing all these people around me, I very much had this thing of like, yeah, I'm here. It's a great opportunity. I'm going to achieve loads and get status and get money. And then Stoicism helped me realize that that was a really hollow goal. It wouldn't lead to anything. I'd get money and then what? You know, that's the question you have to ask yourself. And so I think the biggest thing has to be the fundamental value shift through the dichotomy of control, in terms of not valuing things outside of my control, status, wealth. That can just get taken away from you. Remember Bitcoin?
Oh, right, yeah.
We bought in at high. Oh, I don't check my Coinbase anymore.
So I think in 2017 I think I lost about 35k during the Bitcoin crash, and
That's an annual salary.
yeah, I guess it was.
Bloody hell.
And it didn't really affect me in the slightest. Partly that's because I'd only put in money that I could afford to lose, and so there was that sensible side of it.
It's all right for some.
But I think another big part of it was just appreciating the stoicism thing. That all right, it happened. It's outside of my control now. All right, let's move on. Let's make a Skillshare class to try and make that money back. Am I right?
No. No more external validation from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. After stoicism helped me to kind of lose all that weight. It's been like 10 stone over the last 3 years since 2017. The first 6 months was like 8 stone or something. But then I was really worried about the loose skin here. So I don't know. I guess that's what I'm going to be documenting in a Stoic weight loss journey.
What is the Stoic weight loss journey?
Well, it's kind of. I mean, this is kind of going to be part of it, really, parts of it. Just talking about where I was, the fundamental shift, because like Jordan Syatt, who I was talking about, amazing YouTuber, Gary V's like personal trainer, he talks about how the fitness industry is all based on like, I don't know, just all this stuff that the Stoics would argue against. Oh yeah, like get your beach bod for like all the girls and all this stuff. And he's talking about like sustainable weight loss. No, it's not about like having some kind of like cycle of, oh, I'm going to work out so that I'm like good for July and August and then I'll be a slob and then it will just like encourage binge eating, you know, cycling, yo-yoing like I used to. And so essentially the weight loss journey is to maybe like hopefully help people and to give like a philosophical underpinning to everyday things. That's what we're doing in the course, right? So I want people to understand how powerful this can be. This is sticky compared to those fad diets you see, like, oh, just cut out carbs completely, or 30-day plan to get from like, and there's some picture of like some massive bloke. It's like, that's not happened in 30 days.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like, I honestly think a Stoic and philosophical underpinning to basically anything in society would be a beneficial thing. And I particularly think for me, just like obviously weight loss and fitness is something that's very close to my heart now. And I just want, I've been through all the fads. Yeah. Honestly, every single fad, initially cut like, and keto is great. All these different methods are great. But what it is often...
Because otherwise you just rebound.
Well, exactly. Often it's marketed as carbs are the devil, you must not do this and whatever, whereas it needs to be like, why do you want rapid weight loss? Like, you do it in 2 months and then what? Like, why not do it in a healthy, sustainable way?
I mean, keto was just something I could stick to.
Yeah, for me as well. Like I was keto for a long time. I've tried all the different methods, you see, and so I feel like I'm in a position where because there's a lot of fitness trainers who have never been overweight, and so for me it's just like I'm coming from a position of being a philosophy scholar and a teacher of religious studies and philosophy, but that just happened to be able to lose loads of weight and improve my life through this philosophy. And I feel like it will just benefit lots of people. Motivational YouTube videos about weight loss like really help me.
Oh really?
Yeah. But they're not as sticky in my view as what Stoic philosophy helped me do. And so if I can introduce, because I feel like it's not really a link that's been made so far in the stuff, right? And we're making that link between Stoicism and productivity. But for me, in terms of fitness and weight loss, I don't think that's been done. And for me, that was such a powerful thing.
It really reinforces that what you can control versus what you can't when you lose weight. For me, literally, the only reason I started losing so much weight is because I just wanted to be able to wear nice clothes when I started as an F1. Like, I do not like the way I look in the clothes that I want to wear, so I'm just going to lose weight.
Yeah. No, I mean this is the thing.
It builds up your confidence in that's the longer term thing. Where I'm like, okay, when I start to gain weight, I feel my confidence start to, or the way that I behave is slightly different because you notice how people treat you differently than you.
Yeah, like for me, I tried to move away from doing it for like other people because it can lead to like problematic things. Because essentially, you know, one bloke
It's
still
not so
makes a
much
negative
for
comment.
Other people, and I don't really care if someone makes those comments, but it's more that I've figured out that my life is just easier this way, and then there's more things in my control, right?
Yeah. Yes, I mean, fundamentally, I just think that if I can help anyone that was in my position, because I think I was in a position where my life was at risk. I don't know, you're a doctor, you can probably tell me, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when the pandemic came around, I realised that if my BMI was still what it was in 2017 June,
Oh my days.
I would have had to shield.
That was the maddest thing. It's just, basically, the bigger you were, the more likely you were to die.
And so,
Seeing it on the wards as well. It's like two people, exact same blood test results, exact same comorbidities and everything, the bigger one would die.
so,
That's it.
and that's the thing. So the goal of the Stoic weight loss journey is, if it can help even one person who's in that position, give them a way to like actually stick to it and change their lives in the way that it did for me, I'll be happy.
Ali, as someone who's never been fat, how do you feel about this?
About people being fat.
Yeah. And how it relates to Stoicism. Not just a rant about people.
So, I think as someone who's never been fat, it's really hard to relate to why people are fat. Like,
It's tough, man.
I guess kind of like for someone who's never been depressed, it's really hard to relate to like what depression actually is. And when people say that they have this like cloud of blackness around them and they literally can't get out of bed, it's so hard to relate to that because you just think, well, you know, just do it. And so,
It's not like that.
yeah, like it's. I think there's like a deficit in understanding that. Yeah,
That is not a flattering.
that one.
That's literally what I tell people to do if they're feeling ugly, is do that in the mirror and then let your nose go and then just see your face look like
I just wiped ketchup on my forehead. I
Nice.
don't know why I did that.
You're going to look like you're bleeding
Oh,
in
God.
the photo.
Oh,
It's
God.
like, look how stoic I am, I'm bleeding and I'm just carrying on.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's very important for people to move away from the like aesthetic motivation to like just thinking about like health.
Health and stuff.
I don't know. I don't think thinking about my health is motivating. Or thinking about my own confidence.
Yeah. Fair enough. I mean, like, yeah. So, but like one of the biggest things is just like welcoming discomfort. I feel like that's a hack for pretty much
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, man. The dopamine fast, as they say.
Dopamine first.
Yeah, where you kind of deprive yourself of dopamine hits
Yeah,
for an
like-
extended period of time, and then you reset your base point, and then you can do more uncomfortable things.
This is a real fad right now amongst all these productivity guys. As medics, like, is that stuff legit? Because I've read some articles that are like, this
I
is
don't
just
know.
fashionable. Oh, yeah.
If it works for people, then it's a mental model, and
I
It
feel like
works.
people think we know a lot more.
yeah, as
Like
medics,
junk science
it's
than
dopamine fasting a thing. I don't know. Google it.
I feel like you guys know
What
everything.
should I eat before the gym?
Oh, mate, the amount of times I Google stuff at work. It's like someone would phone up and be like, "Is it normal to bleed after a hysterectomy?" And I'd be like, "Is it normal to bleed after?" Yes, for 4 to 6 weeks, and be like, "Oh, thank you."
Very much inspires confidence.
No,
Indeed.
even things that we know, now that we have access to Google, it's just like, why not just double check? Like, what benefit is it to you if I incorrectly remember something I read once in a book in first year?
Do you know what? This is why Plato laments the creating of writing. He talks about how like it means like we don't rely on our brains anymore. He
Yeah.
said it like thousands of years ago,
Yeah.
and then now we're in a generation where like literally you don't need to remember anything.
Yeah, man,
My
we shouldn't
dad
rely on
can
our brains.
can still quote page references from Grey's Anatomy when he was
Yeah.
in med school. It's mad.
Our brain is for having ideas, not for storing them. Buildingasecondbrain.com. Use my affiliate link in the video description.
Oh god.
Oh yeah, I'm doing like live mentor sessions for those every Tuesday for the next few weeks.
Oh nice.
Oh,
So people get to join in and help me let them build a second brain or something like that. Let
How
me
do-
help them build a second brain.
How does
yeah,
it
but
work?
I can't take that second brain with me into my MRCS exam.
No, you can't. Which is why medicine is out of date in that it's reliant on our first brain.
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
Yeah, having ideas, not storing them. See, this course is happening because of the second brain, because you've made so many notes on Notion. And yeah, you've just been churning out daily Stoic quotes for the last 180 days. So, you know,
Consistency.
Dedication.
consistency. All right, that's the end of our little mukbang episode. Hope you guys enjoyed this bonus look at Sam's Stoic weight loss journey. And we'll
Both your esophagus guy.
They need to subscribe on YouTube for the Stoic weight loss journey.
Subscribe to his channel on YouTube for the Stoic weight loss journey.
The Stoic teacher. See you guys there.
It really hurt you to